going on, guys? Your host, your boy, George Mackay, and I'm back with the one and only.
It's Uncle Bobby B, baby.
And we're back. Sorry, we're a little bit late. We're a day behind on our MLW review for this week, but I was feeling a little bit under the weather yesterday. So a sick George is not a happy George.
No, and I didn't want to do it without you. So
Oh, look at that. We just had a moment. I'm touched. And now on to some wrestling. You want to get into it?
let's get into it.
Okay, let's get into it. I have actually a lot to say about this one, so we could potentially go over the half-an-hour mark we've been so good at hitting it.
You got a lot to say?
I got a lot to say.
I don't
A
know
lot of good stuff. But I still got a lot to say.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's open to, I guess, interpretation on what people would consider to be good.
Okay, good is subjective.
Good is subjective when it comes to my opinion, because I am straight up to the point and honest, whether you like me or not.
Well, speaking of good, I thought that Opera Cup vignette that they opened with was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it kind of gave you the rundown of how we got to the finals, who faced who, how they beat it, the history of the Opera Cup, which is pretty cool, talking about the history from Stampede Wrestling and all the legends there that held it. Owen Hart, Stu Hart, a lot of them have held it, most recently in the MLW, and they started doing it and bringing it back. Obviously, we know Filthy Tom Lawler is a two-time Opera Cup champion, and now we have a new Opera Cup champion to add to the list. So if you haven't watched it yet, spoilers ahead. If you have watched it, then you know exactly what we're talking about. But as always, just to make sure you stay entertained, we'll kind of go with the flow of the episode. So right off the bat, we had our first match tonight was Casey Navarro, the blessed one, versus Warhorse.
Warhorse.
Now I'm hyped. I'm hyped about this one. I'm always hyped because Warhorse makes me hyped.
I love Warhorse. I'm a metal guy. Like, Warhorse is my kind of dude.
Now, I will say this, though. Casey Navarro's agility is impressive. And he does have a mean streak. When you piss him off, he does that mean streak does come out. But you really can't match Warhorse's intensity. No matter who you are, it's very hard to go intensity versus intensity when it comes to Warhorse, because he is literally 100 plus from the beginning of the match to the end of the match.
No, he turns it up to 11 right off the bat.
Yeah, he does. And he keeps it up through the whole match. And I mean, the one cool thing I loved about this match was that power slam from Navarro. Navarro off the top rope, Warhorse catches him and immediately drops him. And that's how you get an up quick. That's how you slow down a speedy guy right off the bat, is you take him to the ground, you hurt him.
Yeah.
And Warhorse has a great talent for hurting people. And also the headbutt to Casey while he was trying to, I guess, get Warhorse in that sunset flip.
Yeah.
Warhorse, they do that move.
Yeah, he was just
fighting for balance.
He was just going for so long.
And he just grabs Navarro and just headbutts him into the mat. And the speed in this match was insane. There was not a slow point at all. There might have been two slow points when you got that close pinfall from Navarro on Warhorse, and he kind of looked at the crowd and then pointed to the top rope and was like, I'm going big time.
He went for that double stomp.
And the double stomp did not hit because Warhorse rolled out of it. But then he did land the Jesus piece for the win. I know you're not a fan of the finisher name, but
no, you know what? That's his gimmick, right? He's blessed. He's a Christian. Although I don't know how well the Christian morality plays against his mean streak. I feel like he should be turning the other cheek, Casey. Just saying.
Oh, you're going like biblical with it, eh?
Well, his Jesus piece. It's called the Jesus piece.
Yeah, I get it. So what would maybe that could be his his,
and he is a Christian individual.
100%. No, what I'm saying, maybe that could be his submission maneuver. Turn the other cheek. That's what he could call it. Turn the other cheek.
Warhorse had that cool submission. What was it called? Like the Blackfoot something.
Yeah,
he's an 8th Blackfoot Indian.
Yeah, he's like 1/8 Blackfoot
native.
Indian. Yeah, so he gets the perks of, I guess, of being a native with all the shit that they went through in their life.
Yeah,
but he gets the cheap gas and cigarettes if he chooses to.
Oh my god,
if he chooses to. That aside, I will say this: I've never really been fully sold on Casey Navarro. Maybe it's just because he's so young, and I've been a fan longer than he's been alive, just based on years on this planet. But I will say this much, is that every time I see Navarro, I find him getting more comfortable in his own skin. I'm not saying with his gimmick. I'm saying with how he interacts with the fans, interacts within the MLW family. And I feel like this kid could potentially be the next Myron Reed. Now, what was cool about this match is as he's leaving, MLW is great about picking up those little sound bites as people are coming and going to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's leaving the ring, he looks right at the camera and he says, "Don't sleep. I'm coming for that middleweight title." And you know what? Don't be surprised if in the coming weeks we see him, going at the current champion Tajiri or the new champion. And speaking of Tajiri, I do have one little small beef. Tajiri, as we know, is going to be defending the middleweight title all over the world. He's going to be defending it overseas. We already know that match happened. So spoilers, if you check out a couple of the other podcasts in Canada and around the world, there are some news podcasts that do stuff. And one news podcaster in particular did mention how he was able to watch the match online, and he did review it, spoilers ahead. And that's great. But I do want to talk about something where me and you had another podcaster on the show, and I accidentally name dropped All Japan Pro instead of New Japan. I just flipped it. And some individuals got a little heated because I screwed up the name. I screw up names all the time. But what's interesting is that I mentioned All Japan Pro before there was an even working relationship. And now it's official that there is a working relationship. So I do want to put this on wax to that other podcaster who will remain nameless. Even when I was wrong, I was still right subconsciously. I knew the working relationship was going to happen so far in advance that when I accidentally name dropped the wrong company, I was still right. Because here we are now, a few months later, and it's happening. There is a working relationship, considering Tajiri is one of the head bookers for All Japan. Well, and he also is representing MLW with the middleweight championship. So I do want to say, even though I was wrong at the time, I played the long game and I was right.
Well, it is an open door policy, right? So people are free to come in and work or not. So I don't even think there needs to be working relationships as so much as just, you want to do this match? All right, let's do it, kind of thing, which is amazing for everybody. But I want to go back to Casey Navarro real quick. Similar to you, I was not entirely sold on him, and similar to you, I'm getting more sold on him. When there's somebody who works as a heel, and I look at them and I go, I don't like their face. Like, I already don't like them. To me, that means they're doing their job, making their attitude such that I just don't even like looking at them. They're doing their job as a heel, whether I like it or not. So you know what? Good on that kid for hustling, and he's got a lot of ability and a lot of energy, and sometimes easy to forget too. He's like 22, 23.
Oh, very young. Yeah, very young. Early 20s for sure. I don't know the exact number, but
you know what?
20s.
Give that kid some time. He's already where he's at. Big things for him in the future, most likely. So keep hustling, KC, and
stay blessed.
Yeah, I guess stay blessed, man. Shit.
So also another piece of exciting news is that we finally figured out the name of the male reporter, and it's Emilio Sparks.
Thank you, MLW, for making that very clear this week.
Yes, and he's asking the tough in the trenches questions as he approaches Myron Reed on the street, and he asked him what you and I talked about a lot last week, right before that ladder match for the vacant openweight title. There was an altercation between Tankman and Sparks, and Myron got involved and kind of pulled him away and was like, you don't want to do this now, not on camera. And people thought, why is he doing that? Was it to benefit him for later on that night in the ladder match? Well, Mr. Sparks asked the same question. And what did Myron do? Myron does what he did best. He cut a sweet ass promo, skated around the answer to the question, pretty much accused Sparks of being a 5-0 and said, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, but I'm not going to give in.
Yeah, he just bye Felicia him.
Bye Felicia. And that's it. But it was very cool to see that Sparks was on the same wavelength as us. Oh, and also at the top of the show, we hadn't seen the power rankings in a very long time. But this week, right early on, they laid the power rankings, and wouldn't you know, they were very similar to ours.
Not entirely off.
No, off by maybe a number or two, a couple names switched where we had placed them, but the top 10 was the same individuals.
Now, mind you, this is the PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated top 10, so they're not factoring in individuals like the security team who deserved,
those guys were not on the rankings, but hey, those are our rankings, and that's what makes it great because they're the Rewind rankings,
and our rankings are far superior.
100%, absolutely 100%. So and also we also get a couple tidbits promoting next week's big tag title fight. That's right, the Philly Street Fight between 5150 and Los Parks for the tag team titles. Now, I mean, again, if you've watched the internet or anything like that, you know that we already know who wins this match. We posted it on our socials. Congrats. Shout out to Slice Boogie and Denny Limelight. They are the winners. So you now know that they did win, but we just got to know how they won. And there's a great promo later on where I picked out some amazing sound bites from each member of 5150. We're going to get those quotables. They're going to get those quotables later. And we also get another recap of the Opera Cup final and also the promotion for Blood and Thunder in Texas, January 21st, where we're going to see the returning Von Erichs finally get their title shot in Texas, in the big state, Texas. So it's going to be good. And now we got a women's match. We got a featherweight division match. We got the Sea Stars, versus the Top Dogs. If you don't know, the Top Dogs are Devaney. I hope I'm saying it right. Divian, thank you. And Skylar. And of course, the Sea Stars are Ashley Vox and Demi Exo. So, and also we also had a special guest on commentary, Willow Nightingale. I guess the face of the featherweight division, because they're putting so much emphasis behind her, and that's great because she's an amazing talent.
I like Willow on commentary. She's very bubbly, but also very devious. I like it.
I like, yeah, it's like she's that tweener. She's walking that line between being a face and a heel,
like Richard Holiday used to before he turned face.
He's still a tweener, still very much a tweener. All in all, the match not bad. Not great. Upside for sure. Decent. And the one cool thing about this is that actually Vox has the brightest upside of all the ladies in that tag match. I feel like Ashley Vox, when she decides to go solo, or maybe they give her a solo run in MLW, I think she will shine.
I think they're sisters though.
Fair enough if they are, but there's nothing wrong with the Hardys went separate ways for a little bit.
No, that's true.
There's nothing wrong with going singles for a little bit to see what you can do. And I think that out of all 4 women that were in this featherweight match yesterday, I feel like Ashley Vox has something special, and I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on her. And if all you Rewind faithfuls out there don't know who I'm talking about, then I don't know why you're watching us, but please check out MLW, check out the work she's done. She's pretty impressive. I feel like she definitely could be a front runner with Nightingale for the face of this featherweight division, because they're trying to put emphasis in, they're trying to build this division. And so far, so good. Like I said, the tag match wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. I've seen worse. We've both seen worse. But this match, all in all, it had its upside, and I can't wait to see what they do more. But now, the one thing I loved is Willow on commentary gives some amazing sound bites. When asked how she was going to deal with Holodead in this feud that's happening, she said, I'm trying to get in that mindset. I'm watching a lot of scary movies. I can't even keep my straight face when saying that, but that was the gold line of the night for her on commentary. Yeah. And then also at the end of the match, Holodead comes out. She gets up to the commentary table. They start fighting, and I love this rivalry. We already knew it was being set up this way, but I kind of love this as, Nightingale comes out, talks a little smack. Holiday comes out, gets a few punches. The girls fought all the way to the back before going off air, right before the 2 or 3 refs decided to come out and break the fight. But they pretty much fought from the commentary table all the way up to the entrance of the arena, which was great. It was great to see, and I can't wait to see what these 2 ladies do, because I feel like much like the women of AEW, I feel like these 2 ladies in particular can really put the stamp in that featherweight division, much like Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa did for AEW's women's division.
Yeah, both of those, especially Holodead. Like, Holodead was a coup for MLW as far as I'm concerned, because she's one of the really better women workers out there, and she's got a lot of charisma and she's got a lot of ability. And I think the 2 of these together is a great initial feud to highlight the featherweight division, get more people interested. So it's going to be fantastic to see what develops from this.
And throughout the night, we also got a couple of Emilio Sparks lives. He was going live backstage because, if you know, the previous week, CD pretty much told both him and Alicia he wants more. He wants the dirt. He wants the exposés. So Emilio took that and he ran with it. He was actually doing some lives where he was following CD around the arena. So the first live, CD comes down a set of stairs with a big stack of money, and he's just counting that paper. He is counting it like it's nobody's business. Like he just worked like a 12-hour shift and just got all this overtime. Like just banking it. I was going to say something else, but I'm trying to keep it PG. I was going to say like a pimp, and he's got cashed in from all of his ladies. I was going to say that, but yeah, he's walking around carrying his stack like it's nobody's business.
I don't think CD works too many 12-hour shifts.
Well, I mean, a lot of 12-hour shifts of making shady backroom deals and drinking wine in the dark.
Drinking wine in the dark.
Well, his office is always very underlit.
That is true.
It is very dark and kind of makes your skin crawl in that fucking office.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep my office dark.
Well, I guess that speaks volumes to who you are as a human being. And then following that awesome Holodead and Willow kind of commentary table battle, we get another part of the live where now he's followed CD into a corridor of the arena, and who is waiting? His faithful henchman bodyguard opens up a box, and inside the box is a mask. I believe it's the mask that his brother used to wear, the same mask that Jeff Cobb wore during the War Games. And CD kind of gives that menacing nod of approval, and they walk off to another part of the arena, which we'll find out a little bit later on. And then we get what I want to say would be the promo of the night next to 5150. That's right, the newly crowned, our boy, shout out, congratulations to him, Alex Kane, the newly crowned openweight champion. He had a press conference. and he sat down and he wants to tell everybody what is happening. No one controls him, and no one controls the new Bumaye Fight Club.
Yeah.
They are going to finish all fights quickly and efficiently. And now he's got to leave. They out. He's got to go sign a new gym deal in Atlanta.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Yeah, just great. It was absolutely great. And awesome. Again, congratulations to Alex Kane, shooting star, man. You're killing it. We knew from the minute you dropped and how over you were with the Philly fans, whatever MLW decided to do with you, it was going to be something special. And for them to put that open weight strap on you, it's a testament to who you are and your abilities, man. So congrats. You're killing it and keep killing it.
You think there's any correlation there with the fact that he said, I got to go open a new gym in in Atlanta, and where Dynamite was held yesterday in Atlanta?
Interesting.
I mean, we do know that as part of American Top Team, Dan Lambert is well aware of Kane and his abilities. So
Dan Lambert, like Kane told you in the mini host in your interview,
yeah,
he helped secure the contract.
He negotiated his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So would be interesting. Just I mean, a speculation out of nowhere, but just imagine seeing the MLW Openweight Championship defended at some point on an AEW ring. That could be cool.
It's okay to drop the wrong promotion name, man. It happens. We're all human. But you know
I am not human.
Subconsciously, you may have dropped the incorrect promotion you were thinking of, but down the line, you could be right.
ALW.
You could be right. ALW could be happening.
There could be somebody could start
Atlanta Legends Wrestling.
Absolutely
right,
lit
there.
Wrestling.
Absolutely lit wrestling.
Absolute lit wrestling. Okay, I'm starting that.
Always
copyrighting that shit.
Always looking for work wrestling.
Always be closing.
So hey, maybe you know what? I'm never one to shy away from a conspiracy theory. I've built up a couple of conspiracy theories in my head. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Hold on. Since I just said always be closing, if you're a wrestler out there or an aspiring wrestler and you're looking to learn about cutting promos, you want to watch the first 20 minutes of a film called Glengarry Glen Ross, which has Alec Baldwin come and do basically a 12-minute monologue and then split. And it's one of the best deliveries of a promo you'll ever see. He basically cuts a promo on all the salesmen in the office, and it's brilliant. And that's just a little segue. Don't shoot anybody in the face on a movie set, by the way, if you're going to emulate Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, do the promo, not the killing. Promo, not the killing.
Yeah, do not shoot people.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, but I do like the name. It kind of rolls off the tongue. Bumaye Fight Club. Bumaye!
Bumaye.
I love it. And we also find out that next week Hammer will defend against the mystery opponent. We don't know who the opponent will be, but looking forward to always seeing Hammer in the ring defending the heavyweight championship. It'll be interesting to see who he's up against. And now we get what I consider to be the other promo of the night, 5150 promo. Right off the bat, Slice Boogie says MLW fucked up. They gave us a title shot. We only been here for a few weeks. They fucked up. We here now.
Why are you cutting the promo on me, man?
I'm just saying. And then, of course, Julius Sparks.
Don't
Julius
be a Lewis.
Smokes.
Like,
Julius Smokes has literally my favorite line. Los Parks, you afraid of the dark. I fucking love these guys.
But they wear like dark costumes.
But they fight in heavily lit arenas. They're afraid of the dark. Okay. If Julius Smokes said it, it's got to be true. They're afraid of the dark.
You're afraid of the dark.
Only till I was like 10. I had a nightlight. There's nothing wrong with that. So what? That's all you got? You're afraid of the dark? Okay. And now should we do like quotes of Canadian television? In honor of the Midnight Society, I call this story.
Well, bro, if you're going to do it, say submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society.
I haven't watched that show in forever.
Well, see, that's your problem. You're out of touch with your inner
Go back
child.
and watch one of the episodes, though. You may see a certain face that looks familiar as a background player.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah, as a background player. I was on one.
Oh, really?
2 episodes, yeah. I didn't have a speaking line. I just kind of nodded intensely.
All right.
That was my thing. You go back and check it out. I can't remember the name of the episodes or which ones they were, but I had like 30 seconds in each one.
All right.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
It's kind of my only claim to fame. That's all I really have.
Yeah, I don't think I even have anything as good as that.
But Conan also says that we're gonna rip your ass. We're gonna rip your ass.
I'm always concerned with if somebody says they're gonna rip my ass, because that's a valid threat.
Well, especially when coming from an OG like Conan, and you're gonna get fucked up. Yeah, that's what he's saying. You're gonna get fucked right up. So hard we're gonna rip your ass.
Yeah, like I've never had my ass ripped, but I cannot imagine it's a pleasant experience. I've seen American History X. Doesn't seem like something I'd want to go down. So I would be afraid if I was Will Sparks.
Absolutely. And then the final nail in the coffin was from our boy Danny Limelight. And he pretty much said Philly fucks with us. And now CD knows. CD knows. And we hear and we coming for those titles. And we know how that ended because they did win the title. We just don't know how it got from A to B. We know the finish. We just need to know the story. We'll find that out next week. So that'll be good. And also Enzo, official debut is next week, was 2 weeks away. Now it's 1 week away. I'm excited to see what the real one brings to the table. I can't wait to see the promos he's going to cut. I actually wouldn't mind Enzo cutting a promo on 5150. That would be fire because they spit fire. He spits fire. That could be enjoyable.
What if he joined 5150?
No, it's not.
I can't say I'm excited for Enzo, but I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I want to see what he can do. So I wouldn't say there's excitement, but there's intrigue,
speculation, wonderment, all kinds of emotions. Yeah.
I just, I hope for the best for all parties involved.
Absolutely. And I think it'll be good. I think I am looking for, and I will say this, I'm excited because I always thought Enzo's promos in WWE were fire. He lit it up. And I always thought he was one of the best on the mic.
And didn't your daughter like go viral or something? No, I'm confusing you with somebody else doing Enzo's intro.
No, yeah, it was somebody else.
Yeah,
it wasn't me. It wasn't my little mini host. No, sir. And now we get to another part of the Emilio Sparks live. CD goes to a locked door, which seems very similar to the office last week on the loading dock. That's all I'm going to say. He goes to a locked door with the mask and his henchmen. And right before he opens a door, he says, "Brother, it's time to unleash you." And then he unlocks the door. He takes the mask in the box from his henchman and goes in the door. We didn't see what was inside the locked room, but he goes through it. Then the henchman, Emilio Sparks, stupid, he hits something on the floor, hits a pipe or something, makes a noise, and the henchman sees him, and then they run off before we get the payoff.
Before that, though, his fucking follower count was just...
It was just going.
Like a counter.
It was going. Emilio's, listen, all I say is we're down with Alicia. We are pro team Alicia, but I gotta say, Emilio impressed this week with getting down and dirty with the Expo Days. Alicia's got to come with some fire, or her job might be on the line, man. It might happen. Alicia
is traveling to Mexico, so we're gonna see something from her soon, I think.
Absolutely. Alicia's fire with the exposés. The first one she cut exposing Durant and getting all those questions that we needed answers to. So, I mean, Emilio, yeah, okay, you followed him around and kind of stalked him a little bit, but still, there was no payoff, dude, because you hit something. You and your camera guy. And by the way, what do you need a camera guy holding a phone for? You can't hold your own phone? Did you not hear that part? That was a little bit frustrating. No offense, Emilio.
Yeah, it was like
he's
Randy.
He's like, Randy, get that, Randy. Well, here. If I was Randy, I'd be like, here, get it. Take your phone and get it yourself.
Were you molesting me?
Who needs? I wasn't a little bit off the cuff there, but I was not molesting you. I'm just stating that. What do I need? Somebody? It's a phone. It weighs 2 pounds. You don't need a cameraman for a cell phone.
I love it. A little bit off the cuff there.
A little bit off the cuff, bud. Just to get back to
molesting, like that. Just touching somebody can be considered molest. You never heard the term? I wish. You ever watched a movie where there's like a terrorist and they're like the plane will proceed to the runway unmolested?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, just I didn't want to infer any sexual connotation. You just molested my hand.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Freaking didn't want to infer. Use an old verse, complicated third grade vocabulary words. Like Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Excuse me. Infer. Did you not? Have you never listened to Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park?
Yeah.
So he did a side project rap album called the Fort Minor, The Rising Tide. The band's name is Fort Minor. The album was called The Rising Tide. And on that, he cuts a freestyle on how before Linkin Park became Linkin Park, when they were in the process of recording the first album, they tried to fire him. They tried to get rid of him from the band. Mm-hmm. But his band had his back, so they did the tracks. And then he went on to do a couple of interviews, and they twisted his words. So he basically said, people used to infer, oh, wait, did I lose you? Use an old something over
Old English or
Old English third grade vocabulary words. So people, and then he goes on to say people used to infer that we were manufactured. Now I got the numbers from who said. Well, it's a great freestyle. If you get a chance, Fort Minor, The Rising Tide, check it out.
I've definitely never listened to that.
It was called Get Me Gone. It's actually a really good song. It's about 1.5 minutes long, just a freestyle and him kind of venting. Great song.
I listen to death metal.
Okay, well, new metal.
All right.
New metal, death metal. It's in the metal family. It's in the umbrella. It's in the umbrella. So now it's main event time.
Yeah, speaking
baby.
of metal, there's a trophy at stake here.
Yeah, that's right. The Opera Cup Finals time. We got a great promo from Davey Richards. We've known each other for a long time. It's culminating in this moment. And you know what they say? Steel sharpens iron. So I'm ready. I'm ready for war.
Did you say steel sharpens steel?
No, he says steel sharpens iron.
Did he? I could have sworn he said iron sharpens iron or steel sharpens steel. And I remember thinking to myself, did he just say that wrong?
No,
Maybe I heard it wrong.
You might have heard it wrong. I'm pretty sure I
Apologies.
went back and listened to it twice to make sure. Maybe I heard it wrong. Who knows? My earrings.
Either way, metal sharpens metal.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is two of the best in the business are about to throw down, and wow, did they throw down? This was classic old school. Okay, chain wrestling, mat wrestling. I mean, I appreciated the old school vibe. You don't get that nowadays. There's always a spot in the match where everyone's looking for the suicide dive, the dive from the top, just to get the crowd hyped. But there's so much more meat and potatoes in a story that's as slow paced as this was.
Well, that's ring psychology, right? That's
Yeah.
two guys with experience. Know how to work the crowd and work each other.
Oh, submission upon submission, way to break holds. I mean, listen, this was wrestling 101. And I know we've said this about a lot of matches in MLW, but it's true. Major League Wrestling. What's the last word? Wrestling. And these two guys did that. They did that to the nines in this. And the great thing about this is, do you ever notice when you watch a Davey Richards match, the pacing starts off very slow, very methodical, almost a feeling out process. Then it kicks that gear. And then all of a sudden, speed, lightning in a ball. We were talking drop kicks. We were talking clotheslines. There was a good 2-minute stretch where literally made up for the first 10 minutes, which was so slow that 2 minutes was like a whirlwind, but then it slowed down again. It's almost like an accelerated heartbeat, you know?
Yeah.
It keeps kicking it, but these two guys took it to the limit. And I mean, the fans, 14 minutes in a 30-minute match, the fans chanting, "This is awesome." And there's still 15 minutes of a payoff. Honestly, to go.
There's certain wrestlers that just, they work well together for whatever reason, whether it's their styles complement each other on a personal level, they just get each other and they work well together. Some do not. There's like Josh Alexander and Jonathan Gresham are gold together. Look at somebody like, I just lost the train of thought I had, but I had another good combination of guys that were great together. TJP and Davey Richards are one of those combinations that they
are a match made in
fantastically
heaven.
together.
Yeah.
They're both technical. TJ can fly, but he also works a lot of submissions. He's got that hybrid style. Davey Richards is a fighter. They work so well together. They sell for each other. They take bumps for each other. They make each other look good. And that was a beautiful 30 minutes that I would definitely recommend to somebody. If somebody's like, what's MLW all about? Show them this match.
Opera Cup Finals.
It's about wrestling.
Davey Richards versus TJP. And this was my favorite part. So once the speed kind of quit down, they were both corner to corner adjacent from one another. That intense stare down, that both of them just unwrapping the wrist tape. And you know, at that point, it's go time. And literally slug for slug in the ring for a good 15 seconds. And then TJ hit that detonation kick. And you know, when he hits that detonation kick, I thought it was over. I really did. But Davey Richards kicked out, and he didn't kick out at like 2.5, 2/3. He kicked out on 2. Okay. Not 2.5, not a close 3, 2, which is a testament to how tough. Because TJP, the reason why it's called a detonation kick, a lot of people don't know this, so a little bit of education. The reason why it's called a detonation kick is because of that pinpoint accuracy. He hits you always on the side of the head, always near the temple, which will throw off everything, your vertigo, all of it. It throws it off. And he hits it every time. It's picture perfect. And he got all of Davey Richards' right temple.
And like, when you watch somebody do that move, like you got them in a fireman's carry, you're tossing them kind of up and over as you're dropping down and kicking them in the face. That's a really hard move to execute and make it look good. And you know, if your kick, like George is saying, isn't pinpoint accurate, you could be flailing at the air, and the move looks like shit.
We've seen a lot of people miss that kick. And not miss it by like an inch or a centimeter. We're talking to miss it by a mile. Like they go to kick you here, and they're kicking all the way 2 faces over to you. Like, I've seen that move executed poorly, and then I've seen it executed the way TJP executes it. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. Comment below if you disagree with me. TJP has the best reverse, temple kick in the game. He calls the detonation kick, but I loved every single minute. Every time he hits that kick, it literally is poetry in motion for me.
Yeah, I think sometimes people lose sight of how much these guys strike in a way that makes it look even better than it should.
But I also feel like people lose sight of how good, like Davey Richards, he stepped away for a bit. He had personal issues, but now he's back and he's just
It's got that fire.
Every match in 2020 has been phenomenal. And then you look at a guy like TJP who's been around and seeing things, and people like a lot of people hate on TJP.
Yeah.
But he is one of the best in the business. And I'll put my staple on it now. I've had the honor of talking to him on the Straight Talk Wrestling show, and we chopped it up for an hour like we were two of the best friends. And not because I'm just a fan of the guy, but I'm a fan of true wrestling. I'm a fan of that true old school feeling. Like you said, like you mentioned, TJP has that hybrid style, but if he needs to go old school, he can. And this match should literally be something that MLW would, you know how you're allowed to put a trailer on YouTube?
Yeah.
I would clip this entire match and make this my trailer. If you don't know what MLW is, come watch it with just this match. Let me show you 29 minutes of the best chain submission wrestling you will ever see. And let me gift it to you for free. Okay? Everything that MLW does these days is a gift. This is absolutely 150% a main event pay-per-view match.
Oh,
and we get it on a Wednesday night Fusion.
Let me tell you, like that, this match was a pay-per-view match for any company in the world. Okay, you pick a company, this could have been a pay-per-view, and not an undercard match either, like a main card match.
Absolutely. It was incredible. And just to continue on with the rest of the match, we get to the outside now, where we all know TJP can play on the outside better than anybody. That head drop on Davey Richards on the apron, and that apron has no give. I thought Richards was out cold. TJ hit a picture perfect frog splash, but again, Davey kicked out, not at 2 1/3, not at 2 3/4, at two. Then, Davey returns the favor. He does a double drop kick outside on TJP, and TJP is just all over the place. And then we get into a sweet Bane Buster with a little bit of a disrespectful pin by Richards. Not the typical underhook pin, just the leg over the top, straddling the side. Like, dude, understand who you're in the ring with, okay, bro? You know this is like one of your all-time favorite dance partners. Do not disrespect him after going 26 minutes with a half-ass pin. You're better than that, Davey. I'm going to state that. You're better than that.
Did the tango for 26 minutes.
And you're going to pin him.
Tried to hit him with a fucking electric slide. Like, you went to a box step after that. You can't do it with TJP.
You can't do that. And, TJP kicks out. But then what was cool about the kick out is that when he kicked out, Davey grabbed the ankle, got him in that ankle lock, held it for a couple seconds, but TJP did reverse it, tried to get him into what looked like a sharpshooter, but he couldn't underhook the other leg. Davey was able to twist it, break down the ankle, and there was nowhere for TJP to go. It's over just like that. Davey Richards is your new 2021 Opera Cup champion.
Congratulations to the American Wolf. The hunt never dies.
The hunt never dies. That's right. You took the last line of his promo, but cut a promo after CD handed him the title. In case, side note, in case you don't know who I'm talking about when I say CD is Cesar Durant, I just say his last name wrong, so CD is way better than me.
CD's nuts.
CD's nuts. Credit to King Mo for probably promo of the year on that one. But he hands him the cup. Davey cuts a promo, says he doesn't see fans. He sees family. He sees the only family he's ever known. And he dedicates this win to the Philly crowd because the hunt never dies, like my PIC said here. And that's it. That's it for this one of Fusion. But next week's Fusion is already shaping up to be something special. Hammerstone defending his title against a mystery opponent. 5150 is going to capture gold. We're going to see how it plays out. And I just can't wait. And you know what sucks? Is I do want to put this on stand. Court Bauer, you know I love you. I consider you the mad genius of pro wrestling. You do things that is fresh and new to me. And one thing I will have to say is I love the Opera Cup. Every year I watch a tournament, I love it. But do me a favor, Court. Once a year, give me a 2-hour. Just hear me out for a second. Give me a 2-hour Fusion and make it the entire Opera Cup tournament. Give me that. Give me one night. Give me like a King of the Ring style thing. Give me one night, man. Put it on pay-per-view. I know there are a lot of fans out there that purchase it because the caliber of talent that compete in the Opera Cup is phenomenal. The way the stories are told. And this finales match is a match that I will literally, I will say this now. I'm going to put this in my top 5 all time. That's how great this match was to me. So Court, if you can hear me, make the Opera Cup not just a part of Fusion. Make the Opera Cup something special on its own.
I think you got to keep them coming back with It's a lot to ask somebody to work like a 10-minute match, a 10-15-minute match, and then a 30-minute match all in one night within a couple hours.
It's a lot, but it has been done before.
Been
I'm
done.
I'm not thinking of something new outside the box here. I'm just saying that this is an event. Okay, fine. You know what? Go pay-per-view then. Go 3 hours. Have a couple uppercut matches, maybe fill it in with a featherweight match or two, maybe fill it in with a heavyweight title fight, and then give me the rest of the uppercut. Maybe have the matches and have like a 30-minute rest time in between each match. It's quite possible to do that.
I would actually like to see, and I think if anybody can do it in the States, it's MLW. I'd like to see a full-blown cross-promotional pay-per-view. MLW versus AAA. I know Lucha Underground, or excuse me, Azteca Underground is doing their thing, but like give us a full cross-branded us versus them pay-per-view. I think that would be a great opportunity, especially expanding the product to Mexico, and you give some visibility to the Americans with some of the Mexican luchadors.
Why not also go over to Japan? I mean, I
Absolutely.
threw out a conspiracy theory months ago of MLW and All Japan Pro working together. Happy to say that it is right. I was right. And I'm glowing with the fact that even though I was wrong, subconsciously, I was still right.
Sorry, did you mean All Japan or New Japan?
I meant All Japan.
Okay, because don't forget, Will Ospreay is a New Japan wrestler also coming to MLW. So
now hold on, I got beef with that though, because we were supposed to get Will Ospreay in November. It is now December and no Ospreay yet. Just gonna throw it out. They teased November.
So I know he was in the States.
Did you notice how my voice squeaked when I said teased? No, they they teased.
We know he was in the States. Shout out to good brother Bove, who was hanging out with him after the Hog Show, I believe it was.
Bove hangs out with everybody. I love Bove. Bove was the best. Shout out to Dirty Heels, man.
Shout out to
they are the best in the game. They are our brothers from another mother. They are a fantastic podcast. If you don't know, figure it out. Find
now
them.
you know.
Now
so
you know.
It's possible that there was stuff filmed in November. It just hasn't aired yet. It's possible Ospreay came in, did his filming with MLW.
Well, then just say Ospreay appears in 2021.
But now we also have some issues with, unfortunately, the Omicron variant, and Japan is really cutting down on
travel. I got it. Next week's mystery opponent, Will Ospreay.
There you go. Or maybe Richard Holiday. Who uses keys? I just unlocked my phone with my face.
What did you say, Max? Sorry, Max, what did you say? Shout out to Richard Holiday, man. I love that guy. All right, guys, that's it for this one. This MLW Rewind is in the can. As always, I'm your host, your boy, George Mackay. Socials are @_Straight Talk on Twitter, Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're watching this here, that means you're checking out Straight Talk Wrestling on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button. It helps us, keeps us motivated to provide more content to you. From myself and Uncle Bobby B that do Rewind, to me with all my interviews that I do on Straight Talk, and to the future of podcasting, the one, the only, the mini host, who's also on Instagram, the mini host. So check her out. That's my daughter, my heart, my soul, my little princess. And your socials there, Uncle Bobby B.
The real Uncle Bobby B on Instagram, Uncle_Bobby_B on Twitter. I think there's another underscore in there.
There's an underscore after the last.
I don't check my Twitter anyways.
I know, because I tag him in the episodes all the time and they never get tweeted.
Who am I going to tweet them to? My 3 followers?
You got 4 now, I think.
Oh,
but I think the 4th one's a cam girl. So
wouldn't surprise me. I get 3 of those a day.
Absolutely. You know what? Sometimes, you know what I do? Side note, we're going to steamroll off here for a second. Sometimes you get those requests on Facebook. So I'll accept them. You know how they message you? And they message you and they'll be like, hey, how are you? Where are you from? My response, always, right before I block them, check my profile. You friended me. You contacted me. You sought me out. Check my profile. Then I give them the middle finger and I block them.
I just say I work for the Ministry of Internal Security for the Chinese government. And actually, if okay, it's
a thing.
If you're ever getting harassed online by somebody from China, start sending them messages about Tiananmen Square, and they will probably get their messages flagged by like state security because you're not even allowed to like discuss that in China. So
there you have it. There you have it. You can get somebody put away in a Chinese prison for a very, very long time.
Is 4 a lot? That depends. Rubles? Yes. Years in Gulag? No.
All right.
That's the rewind.
That's the rewind right there, guys. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you next time.